Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and wherever you're watching in the world, welcome along to the Vortex Racing Cup, and rounds 3 and 4 take us to the United States Grand Prix and finally the Brazilian Grand Prix. My name is Kieran McGinley, and if you missed out last time for the first and second round of this cup, make sure you do check them out before I spoil all the points as we stand so far. So I'll give you a couple of seconds to do that if you want, and now you've had plenty of time. So at the moment, as you'll see, VSR have 176 points from last time, VRT on 125, Mentalism on 65, Livid on 64, and R70 are on 45. So VSR are slightly running away with it. However, anything can happen, and of course anything will happen, especially with our alternate point scoring system. Now, if you're not familiar with last time out, of course, the winner of the race scores 30 points, second place scores 26, third place 23, fourth place will get 20, fifth place 18, sixth place 16, seventh place 14, and then we go down in 1 point increments all the way down the positions, all the way to 20th, where last place scores 1 point. The only difference is that they have to make it to the checkered flag to score the points. And of course, if there is a retirement for one of the teams, that of course means the team gets one fewer point scoring position. So hopefully they'll be able to know that, and even if they have the worst race possible, they'll at least be able to encourage themselves to get to the checkered flag and be able to finish the race just to get some points on the board. Now, of course, in these sort of cups, we do have a basic outline of what's going to happen and who's in the car. So for VRT, for tonight, we have Lonnie, Sam, Shapalele and Jordan. Their reserve is unconfirmed. I don't think they have one here for tonight. Livid, Ventink, Sem, Cohen and Luke are their drivers. Again, no reserve driver on the list. For VSR, they've got Ashbest, Onyx, Prinens and Casper. Their reserve is Lee, who I believe is going to take over one of the slots for the Brazilian Grand Prix. For Mentalism, we have Eltink, Frederick, Sab and William. No reserve for them. And for R70 we have Fira, KPI, Gabri, Baena, I think that's how you say it, Baena, B43NA, that means B-A-E-N-A, Baena, I'm going to go with that, and Rui Torres, there we go, Rui Torres is the reserve there for R70, of course a Spanish-based team, so it should be, I would hope, is Spanish pronunciations, but of course, if anybody knows me very well, they know I hate mispronouncing drivers' names, so if of course I'm butchering your name, make sure you tell me off in the chat and tell me how to pronounce it correctly, and I'll of course do that for you. But hopefully you're going to enjoy tonight's racing. We had some great racing last time out, and as I said before, VSR have a commanding lead at the top of the table, and we'll have to wait and see how that all transpires when we head to Austin and then to Sao Paulo for the remaining races. In terms of, we've gone through the points there, so we might as well just go through what we're expecting here tonight. 25% races, of course it is one-shot qualifying with dynamic weather, but the safety car is turned off. Vehicle damage will be full, as is car setup. Strict corner cutting for both tracks, pretty much all of the same. In terms of assists, we're looking at pretty much manual all across the board, apart from racing line. That has been allowed as corners only. Everything else seems to be turned off. Braking assist, ABS, TCS, which is traction control manual, gearbox, pit assist release, and all that lovely stuff, and the ERS is of course manual as well. So the only driver aid that they're allowed is the line, and that's only in the corners. So that's it. That's all they get. That's all they're allowed. When we're looking at it, then we have the official start time as well. So whatever time the race starts in real life is whatever the time is here. And for the car choices, well, VRT have the Red Bull and the Williams. VSR have the Racing Point and the Alfa Romeo. MNT have Toro Rosso and McLaren. R70 have Renault and Ferrari. And then Livid, that gives them Mercedes and Haas. And yes, this is the last two rounds, or these are the last two rounds, I should say. Tonight here, we have USA and then Brazil shortly afterwards, so make sure you do stick around, both races on the same stream. So I hope you're going to enjoy tonight's action. I hope you're going to enjoy tonight's commentary as well. Of course, if you like it a lot, that's absolutely fantastic, and hopefully you'll like it for the rest of it. Of course, if you do want to follow I believe it is the Vortex Racing team who have it's their invitational. So if you do want to go follow them, it's at VRT_racing. Really easy to remember. Then here comes my one. If you want to follow me, it's at KS McGinley. Yeah, good luck with that. It's not going to happen. Absolutely not going to happen. Make sure you're keeping the chat up to date as well. Vasta Racer giving us a wave. Welcome along, mate. Hopefully you're going to be supporting the team as well. And let's see how this all let's see how it all goes down. I seem to have said that a lot recently. It might become a new phrase, but anyway. 25% races around Brazil, and firstly the United States Grand Prix, which was opened in 2012 and of course has given us fantastic races over the years. It's 5.513 kilometers and 56 laps at 100%, which means we're going to be having, I believe that's going to be 14 laps around here, because 56 halved I believe is 28, if someone wants to correct me on that one. So that means it will be 14 laps around the circuit. So that will give us a race distance of around about 77 kilometres, maybe a little bit more than that. Lap record in real life was a 1:36.169 by Charles Leclerc, set at the previous Grand Prix in 2019, and of course designed by Herman Tilke, who kind of reminds me of a bit like Marmite. You either love him or you hate him. The tracks, that is, of course. Not the guy. The guy's really nice, but yeah, some of his tracks have garnered lots of praise, including the Circuit of the Americas, known as one of the best tracks on the calendar. And one Austin Smith has said that is a track named after him, but also he's also said that it's a track built for overtaking. And to be honest with you, I totally and wholeheartedly agree with him on that one. It's such a fantastic circuit, and hopefully we can see how it all goes down in the race here tonight. I believe we're just waiting on a couple of drivers here. I believe we're waiting for I think we're waiting for an MNT driver. So we will be starting and getting underway at 10 past, whatever the case. So it's about 3 minutes from now. So we'll give us a little bit of time to get the drivers in, and hopefully we can start with MNT having a full roster of drivers with us here tonight. Of course, I believe they don't have a reserve available or made available to themselves. They are allowed, of course, to have a reserve. I'll have to look at the lineups here for MNT. No, they don't have a reserve. So they have Elting, they have Frederick, they have Sab and William. So if I'm having a look at this, it's all good so far. Everyone's got the initials in front of their name, and yeah, you can see it is one of the MNT cars at the moment. You can see there we've got Frederick, we've got Eltink, and we have William. So that means we're waiting on, I believe that's Sab we're missing at the moment. We've had a VRT driver join us in Jordan. I believe he's a new entry. Into the lobby, that is, not into the event. Of course, he's already registered, but we have another driver who's joined us, so that's good. So as you can see in the top right, 19 drivers in the lobby so far. I have just checked and made sure I'm not one of them. I have done that before. I've screwed up an entire lobby doing that before, so you can rest assured I will at least attempt to not do it again. So fingers crossed. Hey, Cohen in the chat saying yo, hello Cohen, nice to see you, and V8 Field in the chat as well saying hello, welcome to you both. Hopefully you're going to enjoy tonight's racing as we stand right now. So we are counting down now into the race. Only 19 drivers, so one team is going to be short of one driver. I'm trying to work out, it might be I'm not seeing the fourth livid car actually here. That could be a problem for them. Yeah, I'm seeing LRs against Luke, Cohen and Ventink. So that must mean then that Sem, I think it is not with them at the moment. So that's unfortunate for them. They're currently, well, at the moment leading in the, they're fourth place right now, but very close to Team Mentalism there in third place as a sort of best of the rest, if you like. But we now count down in towards the United States Grand Prix for round 3 of this cup here, where VSR are leading by 176 points, with VRT in second place 125, Team Mentalism in third on 65, Livid Motorsport in fourth on 64, and R70 are in fifth place with 45 points. It's pretty sure Sem was right at the top. If he was, then you've got better eyes than I have. Yes, you were absolutely right. Sem is in there. Yeah, he was right at the top. You're absolutely right. Do you know what it is? It was because 3 livered drivers were all together. So I just thought, oh, that's it then. See, I need my eyes tested. So we're definitely 1 car short. And I believe it is a mentalism car. So unfortunately, if they join during qualifying, they will be able to join us at the back of the grid for the race. So that's what we're hoping will happen here. But of course, 1-shot qualifying to take us into the United States Grand Prix and round 3 of the Vortex Racing Cup. Let's see how it goes then. Obviously, quite clear in the sky. A little bit hazy, actually, but the sun's beaming down on the track, so hopefully we get some really good lap times on the board as well. We're looking pretty much at a 1:35, maybe 1:34, possibly, as a quali lap here around here. I mean, it looks like it's perfect conditions. Reports there that an M&T driver will join us soon, but how soon, I wonder? Will they be able to join us during qualifying so that they'll be able to pretty much join into the race? At least at the back of the grid, but at least then they'll be in the race. And there we go, JL Racing. I believe that's the last MNT driver. Meanwhile, then, we're going to be riding on board with Thyman here. I think that's how you pronounce that name, as he makes his way across the start-finish line and on towards to start a flying lap here at the Circuit of the Americas, making our way up towards Turn 1. Of course, it's all the way uphill. Use that steep incline to help you with your braking in towards turn 1, now going down the hill through turn 2 and onwards now through in towards turns 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. They keep on coming, likened almost to the Maggots and Beckons section at Silverstone, inspired by it almost, as we now head all the way through those undulations up through turn 9, and then the sharp left-hander there, trying not to use that curve, otherwise you can find that your lap time is invalidated. All the way now down the hill towards turn 11, braking around 80 metres before the corner. Very tight corner here. Make sure you hit the apex, and make sure you cut down on the wheel spin as we make our way now on towards the back straight now. DRS wide open as we make our way all the way down towards turn 12. It's a very heavy braking zone, and this really will be one of the best overtaking opportunities on the circuit. Braking hard now. You can see the reflection on the track there, making it difficult to spot your braking zone if you're looking at the tarmac now. In towards turns 13 and 14 here, onwards towards the double left-hander of 15 and 16 as you try and turn that car in towards the apex there to try and grip in, and then we head towards the triple right-hander, if you like, 16, 17 and 18 here. As you can see, Thyman keeping right close to the curbs there, in through 19. Careful not to run wide to here, otherwise you will invalidate your lap time. Glare as you head in towards turn 20 and onwards now towards the start-finish line, but it is Shapalele who grabs the first pole position of the night by just a couple of thousandths of a second there, and that is a great start for the Vortex Racing team. They needed that sort of performance in qualifying to get them up the order, and there it is, Shapalele on pole position by 400ths of a second. A great lap then from the Vortex Racing driver. Casper second, Sem in third with Thyman in fourth, Onyx fifth, Eltink in sixth, Luke in seventh with Lonnie eighth, KPI in ninth, and Baena is rounding out the top 10. Vintink in 11th, Cohen 12th, William in 13th, Gabri 14th, Frederick in 15th, Huitares in 16th, Jordan Polska in 17th, Prinens 18th, and Ash Best in 19th. There you can see a Vortex Racing car and 2 VSR cars getting their laps invalidated, so they'll be starting at the back of the grid. As well as that, one of the MNT cars will be starting at the back of the grid as well. Excuse me, as they didn't take part in qualifying, but will be allowed to take the start of the race because they joined just about in time. So let's see how it all goes down then as we head in towards the race. Third round of the Vortex Racing Cup here at Austin, Texas. And a bit of a warning to all of the supporters and racers, especially in Britain right now. Make sure you have a lot of water with you. It is very warm and very muggy, so almost as warm as what it probably will be down in Austin, I assume. But yes, make sure you have plenty of water with you. It's a hot one as we make our way now, so hopefully onto the grid very, very shortly. Well, we're about to get underway, 20 seconds before we're on the grid to start this race. And of course, when it comes to strategy, when 25% races, you're really looking at the one-stops. You can try and make the softs and the medium tyres work here pretty well, actually. In a 50% race, you may not be able to as such. However, we will be able to see what the what the drivers are going to think for a strategy. As JL Racing's now left the session, so we'll now not be able to take the start. As you can see, 19 cars are going to start this one, so that means I believe MNT are the team that are a driver down as they make their way now up towards turn 1. Yeah, it is a Toro Rosso that's missing in the lineup, which is an MNT car, so they will not be able to score the maximum points they'll be able to. There'll be a car short here as they all now file their way through on this formation lap to find out how they're going to be getting on here as we see how it all goes. But let's have a look and see the strategy that the drivers are looking for here tonight in round 3. You can see the top 10 automatically have to start on the tyre they qualified on in short qualifying. Venting then in 11th on the soft tyres. Cohen following him through also on the soft tyres. William there on the mediums, as is Gabri. Frederick there in 14th and 15th. Rui Torres in 16th starting on the soft tyres, like looking to try and get past the medium tyre runners as they make their way through. Polska in 17th with Prinens 18th and Ashbest 19th. They're all starting on the medium tyres, looking to get an extended run in the first stint to try and get them up and away. But we're getting ever closer to the start of this race, and hopefully you'll be joining us. Hopefully you'll be enjoying the action as we make our way through. Make sure you give plenty of support for your team tonight, as all 5 teams will need your support as well, as it will be a tough race for all involved. As you can see, no real dominance from any team really. I mean, Vortex have got 2 cars in the top 4, but other than that, it's pretty much spread out throughout the field. You've got the R70 cars who had not a great first round. They've got drivers 9th and 10th at least in that running, so it's a good qualifying session for them. Other cars 14th and 16th, so they'll be looking to get as many points on the board as possible. But then you can see Chapelalia on pole position for Vortex Racing, going around the final corner and making his way onto the grid now. Casper will be looking to try and get the launch in towards turn 1. Of course here, pole position is on the right-hand side, which is in theory on the racing line. But if Casper can get a good start, he can really challenge Chapelele in towards turn 1. And of course, it's an uphill braking zone, so expect drivers to leave braking as late as possible. But who's going to be the latest on the brakes? And who will it be? Will we make it through? Of course, you can start 5 wide up towards turn 1, then it quickly narrows down to 2 wide on the exit. It's the fake 5 red lights as we await now. The clutches will rise, the engine notes will rise. We'll be away some point. We are underway, and what are the starts like as Casper tries to get away? Chapelele has got a good start and a good drive out of there. You can see the other Red Bull of Lonnie trying to launch it up the inside. There's a Mercedes of Sem trying to go around the outside of Casper, which he does. There's a Haas and a Mercedes in the background also off there. I think that was Ventig and Cohen trying to make their way through as they now all try and file in through that S section. Oh, we got a car off in the background. That was Eltink, I think, who's off the track. He managed to recover the car there. Very, very good from him, but he rejoins the track in 12th place. Prinens then got a bit caught up somewhere in turns 1 and 2. We've got yellow flags around. That's Bainar, I think, in 18th place, 19th place now, as he's had a little bit of a spin and falls down the order. Meanwhile, then Chapelele leads from Sem and Casper. Onyx in 4th with Luke 5th. Lonnie in 6th place. Thyman in 7th. Ventig 8th. With KPI 9th, and Cohen rounds out the top 10. Qui Torres tries to get his way through as Polska's now left the session. So that's a little bit of a disconnect there. He'll be able to rejoin, and he'll be hoping, and the team will be hoping that he rejoins as well to try and score the team as many points as possible. Here's Lonnie right on the back of Luke here as we make our way through 13 and 14. Then towards the left-hander of turn 15. We've seen cars go up the inside before. We're going to see it again as Lonnie tries to go up the inside of Luke. Then who's going to get the better traction and who will get the better run through 16, 17 and 18. There you go. You see Lonnie backs out of it for now, but will he try some sort of switch back here? 19 is not an overtaking opportunity, and I think he knows that now to try and just hold back and wait maybe for turn 1. That's going to be a good opportunity to try and make his way through. Of course, Chapelele sets the fastest lap of the race. That's the first real racing lap of the race, so of course he will. Meanwhile, then, Sem moves up a position. Casper moves down a position in this very, very start. But of course, VSR go into this race in control, however, with one of their cars in the pits for repairs. That is Ash Best, I believe that is. Yeah, you can see broken front wing for him. What tyres go on? I believe, yes, it is another set of mediums there for Ash Best, so we expect him back in the pits again. Vano started this race on a set of soft tyres, so in theory he could get to the end of the race, providing his medium tyres will be able to get him to the end of the race. One thing's for sure though, Ash Best needs to pit in again. Meanwhile, that was Venting getting a little bit wayward there through turn 9, but he seems to have recovered it okay. KPI trying to defend from Cohen, who looks for a move up the inside there. KPI leaves the door open, and you can see Cohen gets a better exit off of the corner and gets the move done. Great move there from Cohen. Meanwhile, Casper going side by side with Semnen as we make our way down towards turn 12. You can see he gives a little bit of a look to the right hand side and gets the move done. Sem moves down to third, and Onyx locking up big time in towards turn 13 there. Just about got the car stopped and gets up to third place, and Sem would have not seen that coming. I wonder really if that move was ever on. I mean, he was locked up there, didn't get the best camera angle in the world, but Onyx is ahead, and to him that's all that will matter. Sem though will be looking to try and get back past as soon as he possibly can. Lonnie and Thyman here battling away for 6th and 7th. Lonnie pulls over to the left hand side. He's actually coming into the pits there, is Lonnie. Now, is there damage to that Red Bull then as we make our way through in towards the pit lane on board with the Red Bull driver? Let's see if the team are ready to make a change. No, it looks like it's going to be a strategic... No, it is a front wing change. I thought for a second there he was going to put on the medium tyres right now and try and get himself to the end, but I thought wrong and was proven wrong quite instantly there. Well, we've got here Venting trying to close in on, I believe that's the Williams of Thyman here. A Livid car trying to get onto the back of the Vortex car here. But Chapelele leads from Casper in 2nd, Onyx 3rd with Sem in 4th, Luke 5th, Thyman in 6th with Venting in 7th, Cohen 8th, KPI in 9th, and Eltink is down in 10th place. He didn't get a great start, didn't quite see what happened to him in the start sequence there, but he ended up off the track, managed to recover it, and managed to get his way through. Meanwhile, Prinen's there down the inside of Hui Torres in towards turn 11 and gets the move done. He'll be able to have a little bit of DRS here, but Hui Torres might not be done with this move just yet. Eltink, meanwhile, gets past another R70 car, moves back across to the racing line to take his normal braking zone there. Frederick trying to go up the inside there of Gabri. Gabri gives him the room, but Frederick just not enough room for him to try and get that move done. He realises pretty quickly that that was not really going to happen, that move. Lap 3 of this race, of course, DRS is online and has been for this lap as Chapelele still leads from Casper by 1.1 seconds here. You can see Onyx going wide at the penultimate corner there, almost IndyCar regulations there. As Sem comes into the pits then, hits the speed limiter line perfectly there as he makes his way in towards the pit lane. You've got Venting as well, also into the pits. Sem then on will go a set of medium tyres, so a scheduled stop then for the Mercedes driver as he makes his way back onto the track. Meanwhile, KPI then is still on the back of Eltink here as he looks to try and stay behind that Mercedes and maybe try and put him under a bit of pressure too. Let's see, Sem and Venting rejoining the track then. There is Lonnie just making his way around the final corner, and you can see both Livid cars rejoin comfortably ahead of Lonnie there and slotted in 14th and 15th place. There is KPI then right on the back of Eltink as they now make their way over the crest in through turn 10 and then onwards towards that heavy braking zone of turn 11. You can see KPI not looking for a move just yet. He knows he's got the DRS zone just ahead of him, so he's waiting for that opportunity. Chapelele meanwhile still in the lead, but Casper has closed that gap down. He's now within DRS range, so keep an eye on that one as well. Meanwhile, KPI here has got some DRS on Eltink and gets the move done. You see that Eltink didn't have the DRS as they now head towards turn 12, and now KPI moves back ahead of Eltink, and Eltink has to do all that hard work all over again as Jordan has now joined back into the race. He is 17th though, so that is unfortunate for him, but at least he's joined back. At least he'll be scoring points for the Vortex Racing team, and of course we all know points mean prizes, and consistency across the whole team is much more important than one driver winning the race and the other three just lagging at the back of the field. Ash Best then looks like, I think that's him passing the Ghost car there. Yes, it is, of Jordan Polska there. Meanwhile, we've got movement in the pit lane. We've got movement in the lead of the race because Casper has moved ahead of Chapelele then into the lead of the race, and Onyx will be looking to try and follow suit as well. Lots of cars in the pit lane, very, very busy in the Austin pit lane here. As you can see, Thyman rejoins ahead of Luke there, which would have been important as we hear a car going through. That is Sem then, who manages to get a few positions there. Let's see what happens with Venting then as he makes his way in towards turn 1. You can see Cohen manages to rejoin ahead of him there by quite some distance as well. So the strategy hasn't quite worked out for Venting this time around, but it did work out for Sem. He's got himself a few positions there, and we'll consider that a very handy move. Onyx, meanwhile, on the back of Shapalele as Sem gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Will Onyx try a move down the inside here? We've seen moves like this before. We're going to see one again. In towards turn 12 he goes. He got the inside line there, but he'll be on the outside for turn 13. He's got to give the Red Bull room there, which he does, and Shapalele takes that room and holds the position there. You can see defending hard now, Shapalele in towards turn 15. He saw that move coming from a long way back, and now Shapalele's starting to learn about Onyx here. Onyx will look for an open door and try and open it himself if he wants to, but if there's a sniff of a chance, Onyx is already down your inside. William, meanwhile, is battling away with Gabri as Casper and Shapalele and Onyx, they all come into the pit lane, so it's going to be a battle of the stops here as, Gabri should be able to take over the lead, running on the medium tyres. Let's have a look and see how this is all going to play out then. Almost half distance in this race, not quite just yet, as Casper leaves his box then and rejoins the pit lane. Casper rejoining ahead of Shapalele and Onyx, so they left at the pit lane as they entered, but where will they rejoin? Sem is the one they've really got to watch out for. Thyman as well, who will get the move done on Onyx. Yes, he will. So Thyman moves up a position ahead of Onyx. Sem rejoins behind Casper and Shapalele. That was crucial to get that move done. Onyx has lost a mountain of time here as Jordan has retired from the race, which means then Vortex will be one driver fewer in the possible points they can score. So now only 18 point scoring opportunities are up for grabs. Brennan's there right on the back of William here as they make their way now through turn 11 onto that straight there. As you can see in the slipstream with some DRS, but the McLaren ahead has DRS as well. Prinens moves to the left-hand side, right-hand side of your picture now, and he gets the move done there in towards turn 12. He actually does have a bit of front wing damage on the right-hand side of his Racing Point car there, but he still gets the move done. He'll be struggling with that downforce, but once he gets some soft tyres on that car, he'll never know there was grip like that before. Frederick then looking like he's got the move done on Lonnie down the inside in towards turn 11, which he has, and Lonnie now drops down to 15th place. Lonnie, I believe, pitting in very early for repairs and is now being passed by Frederick, who's now on the soft tyres and looking to try and get those tyres to the end of this race. It's a very early stop though, however, he is going to be trying to make that work. Prinens and William then into the pits. They leave Gabri out there to try and pretty much build the lead that he can, with Casper coming through your picture now in second place, Shapalele in third, Sem in fourth, Thyman in fifth, with Onyx now in sixth, Luke seventh, and that is Cohen in eighth, Venting ninth, and Elting rounds out the top 10 at least for now. Thyman, let's have a look at him as he tackles turns 2, 3, 4, 5, etc, all the way through 9 and 10. As he now tries to follow his way through. It's always difficult when you're following a car through here. Very easy to, one, take the line the driver ahead is taking, and the second option is the dirty air that you'll get there. So it's very difficult to try and predict how much grip you're going to have through there. Thyman has judged it quite well. Onyx is right behind him though, and keen to get a move on in this race. Obviously he lost out in the pit stops there, and he didn't appear to be too far behind Casper and Shapalele. He must have got held up in the pits because he lost a couple of seconds there. Thyman, meanwhile, is right on the back of Sem here, who then moves to the inside. Sem wanted to defend that line in towards turn 12, but he was having none of it. And Thyman, with a great move there, a great dummy, gets the move done. Now Onyx, it's his turn now, up the inside in towards turn 13. And how many times have we seen that from Onyx? He gets the move done there in towards 15, and that is his move done. Thyman, meanwhile, yeah, he defended the inside of 15 there, knowing that Onyx was right behind him. As we now make our way through that treble right-hander. Lap 7 of this race then. And it is Gabri who leads, but he's yet to stop in this race. Everybody else has made at least one stop in this race. As you saw the Haas there of Luke going for the IndyCar track limits there. Onyx still on the back of Thyman here as we make our way up the hill towards turn 1. Meanwhile, Sem is looking for a move once again. The Livid Racing driver just keeping it under wraps for now as we make our way through down the hill then, as we head through in towards that S section. Cohen, meanwhile, in 8th place, looking to try and get past Luke ahead of him. We'll have to see how that all turns out then, as they try and desperately hold on here. The aero works overtime going through here, that's for sure, as they just try and hold on in with those medium tyres. But Onyx, 3/10 back on Simon here, expect to move down towards turn 12. Braking hard then, trying to put the car in front under pressure. And you can see there the Williams didn't get a great exit. Onyx did get a great exit. He could get this move done well before turn 12 here. Simon has to go on the defensive, but look at this. He's just slowly pulling away is Onyx here as we make our way now down towards turn 12. And he's got the move done then. Onyx moves up to 4th place with Simon falling down to 5th place. Sem now in 6th. After a great start in this race, the strategy just works out actually. But at the moment, Gabri and Casper are fighting then, as Casper has to go round the long way around the treble right-hander of 16, 17 and 18 on Gabri, who has used tyres and gets the move done there. I wonder if Gabri's pitting in this lap. Yes, he is, and that'll be pretty frustrating for Casper there, because whilst he had to battle Gabri, Shapalele won't. So that's time that's gone into the Vortex Racing drivers' hands there. Well, you've got 3 livid cars all in a row. In fact, 4 livid cars, all 4 of them in a row here. 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th. No doubt they'll want to try and work together to catch the cars ahead. Simon here wants to try and get back past Onyx as Casper takes the lead of this one. Lap 9 of 14. We have 6 laps to go, I believe. 5 if you're picky, if we're on this one right now. So let's have a look at the entire field then. Casper leads, Shapalele 2nd, Onyx 3rd, Simon in 4th, Sem in 5th with Luke 6th, Cohen 7th with Ventink in 8th, Eltink 9th, and KPI rounds out the top 10. It's Frederick 11th there with Lonnie in 12th, Prinen's in 13th, but he's under pressure from William now, who's currently in 14th place. Gabri rejoins in 15th place with Rui Torres in 16th, Ashbest 17th, and Baena is in 18th place, but still running in this race and still on course to score some points for R70. Meanwhile then, as we see Cohen getting the move done on Luke there, as a little bit of a, looks like a little bit of a team orders move there. Eltink is looking for a move down the inside in towards turn 12, but Cohen runs wide ahead and has to take the inside line in towards 13, as that is Ventink running and gets really bit locked up there in towards 13 and 14. Next, see Eltink trying to defend the inside line in towards 15 there. There's contact between the 3 of them there. Somehow they all made it through, and now Eltink gets the position ahead of Ventink there as we make our way through the treble right-hander. And now Eltink is on a charge here, trying to get past the livid cars. He's dispatched of 1 of them. Now he's got 3 more. In towards turn 20 we go. Not really an overtaking place here, that's for sure. But yeah, that all started from what looked like one of the cars running deep in towards turn 12. We're on the exit of anyway. Eltink looking for a move up the inside in towards turn 1. Obviously, he's going uphill. He can brake a little bit later. Snatches the apex on the inside and takes the position away. Eltink now up to 7th place. Now he's got 2 more livid cars left, and he's only 9/10 behind one of them. Sem is a bit further up the road, looking to put pressure on Simon here as we make our way through. Lap 10 then, 5 laps to go in this cup race. Round 3 of it anyway. We've still got one more round. Of course, the Brazil Grand Prix will be following us straight after this one, so make sure you do stick around for the race there. Ventink is now under pressure from KPI here as we head our way down towards turn 11. And of course, R70 are trying to back the horse here because KPI could have a really good opportunity to score some really good points for R70. They did not get a good start here at round 1, but they had a much better round 2, that's for sure. Luke then trying to make a move on Eltink as we make our way now down towards turn 12. No, not quite. He wasn't quite close enough there, and KPI as well, not figuring it's the right time to try and make the move stick there. Well, at the moment you can see 2 VSR cars inside the top 3. Shapalele, Simon there for Vortex Racing for 2nd and 4th. Livid cars 5th and 6th. I mean, that's a very, very close action race there between the 3 teams. Meanwhile, one of the R70 drivers, KPI, making his way now through 19 and then towards turn 20 to try and find a way past these livid cars here in towards turn 20. Can he get that traction down? Yes, he can. And Eltink, meanwhile, is trying to close in on Cohen, which he is. Up the hill then towards turn 1. And look at this, Cohen is his next target then of all the Livid Racing cars. He makes his way now in through turn 2. Meanwhile, Lonnie gets a move done on Frederick there, who drops to 12th place. William, meanwhile, still manages to hold on against Prinens there, as he's got the move done. Prinens now will be wondering how on earth he'll get past now in towards the S section. They've got to try and keep their cool, VSR. They're in control, or they were at the end of the second round. They can't let that control slip, and they can't afford too many mistakes. KPI then looking for the perfect opportunity to try and pass Venting. He decides turn 11 is not the place to do it. Casper leads by 2 seconds ahead of Shapalele, but one of the battles we're watching here is the battle between, 6th all the way down to 10th place here, who all have a chance of passing each other as they make their way now down towards turn 12. You can see there, all cars staying just in relative formation right now. Prinens, meanwhile, is on the charge, trying to get a move done on William, which he does in towards turn 12, and Prinens gets back up into 13th place. And of course, that could be crucial for the team as well. Meanwhile, Cohen trying to defend from Elting. There you can see Cohen did not get a good exit out of 15. Through they go 16, 17 and 18 before the final 2 corners of 19 and 20. You can see here Elting is really on the back of that Livid Racing car. Runs a little bit wide on the exit of 19. In through turn 20 we go. Who's going to get the better traction off the line here as we make our way up towards turn 1? Fantastic helicopter shot we've got here. Elting, is he going to think about the move? Yeah, no, the Mercedes driver of Cohen defends to the inside. Has to say to Elting, no, you're going the long way around, whether you like it or not. Elting, though, that'll encourage him to get the better exit as we now make our way through that S section. And you can see Cohen riding on board with him now. It's pretty much single file through here unless something goes horribly wrong. Cohen has this move under control for at least one sector. But Elting is really on his tail here, as I think right now they're just trying to prevent Elting from trying to close in on Sem. And with only 3 laps to go in this race, 2 and a bit if you're picky, they will be able to hold him back for a little bit more, heading down towards turn 12. Sometimes that's something you have to do as a team. You have to work together in order to get the best positions possible, especially in a team race like this. You can see Prinens there looking for a move on the Toro Rosso driver. We'll just have a look at Elting here, who could get a move for 6th place here as we head down towards turn 12. He's got the inside line. Look at the background for KBI as well. Elting has to go across the curbs there and picks himself up a 3-second time penalty, which could come back to bite him at the end of this race. Prinens, meanwhile, gets the move done on William. Then, once again, those two are battling hammer and tong there to try and keep their positions. Cohen was passed by Elting. Now he's got the better traction as we head through the treble right-hander. Elting has got the move done on Cohen as they now make their way towards 19 and 20. But Cohen is not going to let him have that move as easily as that. He's going to put all the pressure on him. Penultimate lap of this race started by Casper then, who's leading by 2.5 seconds ahead of Shapalele, with Onyx in 3rd and Thyman in 4th, Sem in 5th. But Elting now has cut through the Livid Racing cars. He's only got 1 more left, but the thing is, Elting is now 4 seconds behind the next Livid car. So we'll have to wait and see how that all plays out. Of course, he does have that penalty to contend with as well. He won't be able to appeal that one because he cut across the curb there. I think that was a slap on the wrist there, that 3-second time penalty. He could fall further down the field. What he's got to concentrate on now is trying to get as far away from the cars behind him as possible. That's not going to be easy when he's still within DRS range of Cohen, who can also give the other cars a little bit of a slipstream up towards turn 12. See then William getting a 3-second time penalty as well. We'll focus on the penalties as they cross the line. Meanwhile, KPI here looking to try and find a way past the Livid cars. Boehner gets himself a 3-second time penalty from multiple warnings. Will we see any moves here? You can see Luke possibly getting out of the slipstream for a second there, but managing to keep it all together here. KPI just a little bit cautious right now. I think he wants the 10th place, but at the same time you can see him wanting and thinking about getting even more positions. There's your race leader right now, Casper leading the way. Shapalele in 2nd place, Onyx 3rd, with Thyman in 4th. Sem is in 5th place with Elting in 6th, Cohen in 7th, Luke in 8th, Venting in 9th place with KPI in 10th. But look at that, Venting's run a bit wide in towards 18 there. Through 19 we go. R70, KPI is on the outside as we head now towards turn 20. Can Venting hold on then? Can KPI get the better traction off the final corner? No, he can't. So close for KPI there. Venting was really defending that one. He does not want to give up this move. KPI then having to go around the outside as Venting pretty much sends him that way. He was not going to let him have the inside line for that corner. Final lap, by the way, has been started in this final lap of the race. I pretty much contradicted myself there, didn't I? But never mind. Pretend you didn't hear it. That 14 of 14 here as Onyx now gets himself a 3-second time penalty there. That's in third place. Now, if Lyman doesn't have a penalty, that could be a real chance for VRT to get a podium, or two drivers on the podium at the very least. Of course, we'll let all of those penalties add up and count themselves as we head to the checkered flag. Meanwhile, KPI really, this has got to be last chance saloon now for KPI. If he wants higher than 10th place, he's got to go for it now. In the slipstream of Ventig now, you can see other cars just getting away from them. Ventig, the only problem with that is he's got DRS. KPI also has it, and there's just no closing in on the cars ahead. Meanwhile, then, you can see he's trying desperately to stay on the back. Ventig is doing his best there to part the bus. KPI having to go around the outside at 13, gets himself on the curb going through 14. And you can see there Ventig defending the inside line there, as that was really good defending from him. Meanwhile, then, Casper is coming around the final corner and crosses the line to take the win here at Austin, Texas. Chapelele in second, Onyx in third, but will he drop down the order? No, he won't. Thyman gets 4th place. How about Sem? He gets 5th place. Elton crosses the line in 6th place there, but is it enough to keep him ahead of other cars? No, it's not. You can see him drop all the way down. KPI, in the end, got 8th place out of all that. Venting and Sem finishing 1/1000th of a second difference there, with Elting 10th there. Prinens in 11th, with Lonnie in 12th. William in 13th. Gabri in 14th place. Frederick in 15th. Rui Torres in 16th. Ashbest will cross the line in 17th place, and Vayner will cross the line in 18th. But, well, that's your results so far in this race. As you can see, Casper wins the race, but I wonder who's the highest scoring team out of all of that. Meanwhile, then, that is your race winner for VSR. Casper wins in Austin. And now comes the difficult part, is working out all the points. But at the moment, then, VSR have a race winner in Casper. But he didn't make it easy, that's for sure. Not on the pole position there, but had the inside line, got the move done on the VRT driver, and then just sailed away into the distance. Onyx's 3-second time penalty didn't come back to bite him. He manages to hold on to 3rd place there, even with that penalty added to the end of his race time. So then, we might as well take you through our official, unofficial results of round 3 of the Vortex Racing Cup here in Austin, Texas. Casper takes the win with Chapelele in 2nd, Onyx in 3rd, with Thyman in 4th place. There you can see Luke in 5th place, Sem in 6th, with Venting in 7th. A good running order for those drivers there. They'll be relatively happy with that. That helps in their championship battle with 3rd place with Mentalism there. R70 KPI with an 8th place there. That's going to be huge for R70. They need those points. Cohen there finishing in 9th place. Elting in 10th, gaining himself 11 points. Prinens in 11th. That gets him 10 points. As I'll have to go through the order as we go. But there you can see, hopefully someone is on the points as well as we make our way through. But yeah, that was an interesting result in that race, and hopefully you'll be able to unwind. And after that Brazilian Grand Prix? No, the Brazilian Grand Prix is up next, Kieran. How about that? Just to go through the rest of those results then, as we saw it. It was Prinens in 11th, then it was Lonnie in 12th. And of course, 12th place there gets you 9 points. And then we had William in 13th place. 13th place gets 8 points for Mentalism there. Gabri in R70 with 14th place. So 14th place gets 7 points. Then we've got Frederick there in 15th place. Is that? Yes, 15th place for Frederick. That's 6 points then for Mentalism. Then we've got Rui Torres there in 16th place, which is 5 points. Then we've got Ashbest in 17th. That is 4 points. Then we've got Payner there in 18th place. So that gets 3 points. So now it's a matter of counting up all of those. As far as I see it, VSR scored 67 points in that race. VRT with 3 finishes. Of course, one of theirs backed out. Jordan didn't finish the race. But at least that gets them, I believe, that is 55 points in that race. Mentalism They have got 25, I believe, in that race. 11, 8 and 6. You can correct me in the chat if you want to, if you really want to. I will use my trusty calculator, don't you worry. 25 points, yep. Then we've got Livid, who I can't work out in my head because my mental maths is not that good. They scored 60 points in that race, so solid result for them. R70, they scored 28 points. So, of course, this is all unofficial as we look at it. But as we head to the last rounds here, as you can see, well, you can't see, but there you go. I'm just trying to work everything out here. Yeah, a really good result for Livid Racing. Really good result there. It'll take them up the order. I can see that. So, for VSR then, this is the difficult part, is making sure this maths is right. That you'll quickly figure out that maths is a very, very strong point of mine. So let's have a look through and see what happens then. There's a really good race for Livid, I have to say. 60 points scored in that race. I'll be really happy with that. And then we have the last one there. So by my calculations then, VSR still lead, 243 points. Then it is VRT on 180. Livid Racing got up to third after that great race. They're now on 124 points. Mentalism dropped down to fourth on 90. And then R70 are at the bottom there on 71 points. So that's what I make it so far. So to go through those again, VSR on 243. VRT, they are on 180. Livid Racing, they move up a position to third now after that. They're on 124. Mentalism go down a position. They're on 90. And R70 here, they are still at the back of the field, but closing in. They're on 71 points. So the gap between the top two teams is 63 points between the top teams there. And if we have I gotta work this out now. I gotta work out maximum points. So maximum points 30, 26, 23, 20. 26, 23, 20. Well, that's 50. So as you can see, the championship is not wrapped up yet. 30, 26, 23, 20. So there's 99 points, the maximum you can score. The gap between the top two teams is 63, so it's not over. I can categorically say it's not over. And after all that, we're getting right back into the action. Of course, what we have to say is those are the unofficial points, of course. So we'll have to make do with that as we see it. But VSR here, looking good at the top of the table. All they need is a couple of good results here today in the last race, and they will be able to crown themselves champion. But of course, they still need those cars to the finish. They still need those cars to the checkered flag, and that's one that's going to be important as we head to the final round then of the Vortex Racing Cup. Once again, make sure you're giving your team plenty of support in the chat there. JL Racing, I believe, is racing for MNT. He is now starting this race. There was going to be a plan changed for VSR. There now isn't going to be one. So they have got, I believe they've got Ashbest still there. They have Prinens, Onyx and Casper. So there's no change there. Lee Finley was meant to be taking over one of the cars as we headed into the Brazilian Grand Prix. However, the team have confirmed that that's not going to happen now. So they'll stick with the four that they had originally. Nathan in the chat there for MNT saying JL is our president, not a driver. So the president of MNT is getting involved in the racing. So I like this. Let's see how the president lines up against his drivers. Meanwhile then, we're on board with Thyman then as we make our way onwards towards turn one then. Making our way in towards that centre S section through turn 2 and then through turn 3 as well. Long left-hander here. Just keep your foot in here as you get to the end of Sector 1. There you can see the Williams just making a straight line as possible all the way now down towards turn 4. Turn in and then through the double left-hander here through turn 5. Flat out here to the narrowest part of the track. You can see going uphill. You can barely get too wide going now in towards turn 6 and 7 now as you now head towards the braking zone of turn 8. Tight corner here. Tightest corner on the track so far as the track undulates now. You go downhill on the entry in towards turn 9, then it's uphill on the exit. The rear tyres do not like that. In towards turn 10 we go. The track cambers towards the apex. Use that to your advantage. Now going downhill then in through turn 11. That curb there is divoted so that it encourages two wheels on there. Now in towards turn 12, the final braking zone of the track. Through turns 13, 14 and 15 you are flat out here with the DRS zone activating just now. On towards the start-finish line, and it looks like here for Vortex Racing for R70, it's KPI who puts it on pole position with a fantastic lap for the R70 team. They will have loved that at this moment in time. They are bottom of the table, but with a performance like that, you would not think it. And this is a crucial chance now to get some crucial points for KPI. He puts it on pole position by 0.03 of a second ahead of Jordan Polska. Cohen in third with Chapelele fourth. Diamond in fifth with Sem sixth. Ashbest in seventh with Frederick in eighth. Ventic in ninth. And Bayna rounds out the top 10. Lonnie in 11th. William 12th. Rui Torres in 13th. JL in 14th. Casper 15th. Gabri 16th. Prinens, Onyx, Luke and Eltink all did not complete their qualifying laps. They were disqualified. And again, two VSR drivers outside of that qualification. So Prinens again happening it for the second time. Onyx will be starting down the field, so will Luke, and Eltink will be starting at the back of the grid. So Livid Racing then, third place, and there is an outside chance they can grab second place. 64 or 66 gaps I believe is the point difference there, or is it 54? Could be 54 actually. Track is overcast at this moment in time. So I wonder if there's going to be any chance or any slight of rain as we head through here. Yeah, it is a 56 points between VRT and Livid Racing. Having a look at Mentalism, well, they're currently 34 points behind Livid. And R70 at the moment are, 19 points behind Mentalism. So R70 with some good results here. They have been fifth the last 3 rounds. But they could grab fourth place here if they get some good results under their belt. We're about to go racing here then. Well, at least onto the formation lap for the final round of the Vortex Racing Cup. Make sure as well you're giving your team all the support there in the chat as we make our way now in towards it. Let's have a look and see what goes on in this Brazilian Grand Prix, the final race of the Vortex Racing Cup. And the drivers start their laps here. So KPI is on pole position. Polska second. Cohen third. With Chapelele in fourth. Diamond in fifth. With Sem in sixth. Let's have a look at the tyres that everybody's chosen. And again, if you're inside the top 10, you have to start on the tyre you qualified on. So that means then Lonnie, who's the first outside of the top 10, goes on to a set of medium tyres. William will follow suit. Rui Torres and JL going on the soft tyres. Casper down in 15th place there with Gabri, Prinens and Onyx. They're all on the medium tyres. Luke there is on 19th place. He's on the soft tyres. And Eltink is in 20th. He's on the medium tyres. Interesting though, VSR cars all the way down the order. I have to say, Casper, Prinens and Onyx all the way down. But I believe Ashbest is the last car out there. He's in 7th place. So really, this has got to be VRT's chance to try and close this gap. The gap is 63 points. And at the moment, you can see Jordan in 2nd, Chapelele 4th, Thyman in 5th place. And then you've got Lonnie in 11th place. So the majority of the Vortex Racing cars are ahead of the VSR cars right now. VSR, what they need to do is make sure they have a cool demeanour as they head into the last round. It hasn't been the greatest qualifying in the world for them, but qualifying, I always say, is 25% of the story. The rest of the 75% is made up in the race. So KPI then starts on pole position for the Brazil Grand Prix, or Brazilian Grand Prix. Making our way now on towards the grid here. And of course, as someone's rightly pointing out in the chat there, V8 Field says Onyx and Prinens being so close might cause problems for pit stop. You're absolutely right. They're both starting on the medium tyres as well, so communication will be key between the two VSR drivers. As you can see, the rest of the field slowly making their way there. Ash Best is making the most of this one. As you can see, Beta right behind, wanting to get this race underway. So am I, as we make our way on towards the grid to start this race then. Of course, we should get the possession of the 5 red lights here, but they are not the right 5 red lights. We'll be able to see in a few short moments this race get underway. The revs will rise, the engine notes will rise. We're underway at some point. We are underway. What are the starts like? KPI gets a good start, but Jordan gets a really good start then in towards turn 1. Then Jordan takes the lead instantly then, with a little bit of lag involved going in towards turn 1. Jordan does have the lead then. Shapalele gets second, Cohen in third, but KPI's falling down the order there. Currently now in 4th place. Did everybody make it through? Yes, they did. Going down the back straight towards turn 4 here. You can see there's a Williams trying to go up the inside. That was Thyman there trying to make a move on KPI, but he's actually lost out to Sem there, the livid car, making his way now up to 5th place. Ash Best has lost out big time then. He's dropped to 9th and is trying to have to fend off Boehner as we head through 6 and 7. And you can see that the Ferrari having to go off track then, now rejoins to try and battle again in towards turn 9. You can see at Best there is making life difficult for Boehner, but he manages to hold on to 10th place. Casper, meanwhile, up to 13th place. He needed that start there. You can see Thyman still going side by side with Sem as they make their way through. It's all bunched up at the back of the field at the moment. As you can see, the Racing Points now trying to hold off. You've got Onyx there holding off Gabri at the moment, heading our way now in towards turn 12. And then we go up the hill to start it all again, start another lap. Polska leads then from Shapalele. At the moment, it's a VRT 1-2 with the two on top there. Cohen in third, KPI in 4th, Sem in 5th with Thyman 6th, Frederick in 7th with Ventic in 8th. Casper, meanwhile, has he got a move done on Hui Torres? Yes, he has. Up to 12th place he goes, race winner in the last round. And he'll be hoping to try and get up the order as best as he possibly can. Now, what happens here then for the VRT cars? Onyx and Luke are both in the pits then, and they'll be just trying to be egged on by their team to say, look, you've got still this race to go. Keep going. Meanwhile, Cohen and R70 KPI are going side by side as they make their way through 6 and 7. KPI runs wide. There was a little bit of contact made, and KPI found himself onto the grass. Luckily, though, he managed to stay in control of his car, and that Renault is still pointing in the right direction. Prinens there gets a move done on Williams, or has he? Because William is still on the inside there, on the left-hand side. They now make their way in towards the right-hander, and Prinens there does seal the move then, signed, sealed, and delivered. He gets that move done and tries to power away, but does he have a little bit of aero damage, I wonder? He ran really wide there in turn 11, almost a lot of understeer there, almost signifying that there's less front wing on that car than there was before. Meanwhile then, Casper tries to dispatch of Lonnie then. He'll have to go the long way round in towards turn 1 and the center S. You've got a move happening up ahead as well as Sem is right on the back of KPI. Casper still trying to go around the outside here. He'll have now the inside for turn 2, but then the outside for turn 3. As you can see there, Lonnie gets the better traction, but DRS is now online and Casper will have that now going down towards turn 4. He'll be on the outside. In fact, no, he doesn't have the DRS there, or did he? They both had DRS. That's why Casper still on the outside here of Lonnie, and no way through for him so far. Lonnie holding firm there and holding on to 11th place, but they're still going side by side then. Cut away from them too soon as Lonnie still trying to defend then. Casper has to look for the outside line then as head in towards turn 8. He'll have the inside of turn 9. And still, they're running side by side on exit now in towards turn 10. Casper still around the outside, but he now has to lose that position now. Lonnie gets ahead into 11th place, and of course, DRS now online. Those two will be battling for some time yet. Polska leads then from Shapalele in 2nd, Cohen in 3rd with KPI 4th, Sam in 5th with Thyman in 6th, Frederick 7th, Ventic is in 8th place. As now Cohen and then KPI sets the fastest lap of the race, a 1:10.1 at this moment in time is the fast lap of the race. KPI then battling away with Cohen. If we actually jump on board with them, you can see Cohen's got the inside line. The outside line has Cohen. KPI had the inside line. And now you can see the two VRT cars swapping places. Shapalele moves ahead. KPI going down the inside in towards turn 4. A little bit of contact between them. Did they come together? Just about kept that under control, KPI. A little bit scrappy between the two of them as they make their way now up the hill in towards turns 5, 6 And then on towards 7 here, towards the braking zone of turn 8. KPI hangs on to third place for now. Ash Best, you can see, battling away with Venting then as they make their way in through turn 9. On the outside is the Alfa Romeo as we make our way now towards the entrance of turn 10. Still got the inside line. And can he try and hold on to this one? Yes, he can. He does. 8th place now is Ash Best's position. Making our way now in towards turn 12. Onwards now towards turn 13 and 14 and 15. Chapalele half a second ahead of his teammate Polska there. They swap positions. No doubt that was a team order there. You can see Venting on the back of Ash Best. In fact, he's trying to make the move stick. Running on board with the Ferrari to try and get a better view as we now head down towards turn 1. We haven't got a great view of either car here. We'll ride on board with the Ferrari Avena right now as Ash Best just about holds on to that position for now. Sem, meanwhile, trying to close in on Cohen. He's got Thyman right behind him. This is a crucial position for the VRT team. They know they've got 2 livid cars ahead of them and an R70 car as well. They need to try and dispatch them as best as they possibly can. Frederick is there to clean up the scenario. If it doesn't go right, William is into the pits then and trying to make his way out of the pit lane. It's a very precarious pit lane. Seems like it goes on forever. Well, making our way now onto lap 5. And you can see the cars at the front still closer than ever. KPI is falling away though from the top 2 VRT cars. Cohen in 4th with Sem in 5th, Thyman in 6th, Frederick 7th, Ash Best in 8th, Venting in 9th, and Vayner rounds out the top 10. Casper 11th with Lonnie 12th, Guitares in 13th, JL in 14th, Prinens running in 15th with Elting 16th, Gabri is in 17th place, William 18th, Onyx in 19th and Luke in 20th place, but all 20 runners are still in this race. Sem then goes for a move on his teammate there as they make their way now down towards turn 1, and Sem gets moved on Cohen there. I think that might have been a little bit of team orders there as we make our way in through the centre S. Now on towards the back straight. Let's see what's going to happen behind. You can see there Thyman right on the back of Cohen, looking to copy everything he does there. Ash Best still on the back of Frederick as well. Locks up going in towards turn 4 there. Not ideal for the VSR driver as we now make our way up the hill towards turn 6, 7 and into the braking zone of turn 8. You can see Frederick getting a little bit of curb there. That's compromised his entry. You can see he's slightly fallen away from the Vortex Racing driver, but he does try and snatch the apex through turn 8, then through turn 9. Very, very difficult to call this one. See what happens here as we make our way now in towards turn 10. And obviously now making our way towards turns 11 and 12 into that final braking zone there. You can see Thyman really pushing to try and get past Cohen here. He might have another chance with some DRS. The only problem is that Cohen will have the DRS as well as we make our way all the way through the final corner now. Full throttle all the way towards turn 1. Now Frederick here, will he have a chance to try and make this one stick? No, he was weaving left and right there to try and see a move happening. Casper now comes into the pits then on the medium tyres, so that could be a scheduled stop to go on to softs to the end of the race. Well, they can do them. It's whether they will in this scenario. On go a set of soft tyres for the VSR car, and away he goes. So you can see Onyx pitted early as well. Prinens pitted early as well. They're on the soft tyres. We'll have to see how that goes for their race. Ash Best, meanwhile, right on the back of Frederick as we make our way now in through turn 7 onto the braking zone of turn 8. 2 VRT cars leading the way with Thyman in 6th and the other VRT car of Lonnie in 11th place. Making our way all the way through now. See if those soft tyres last. We've got yellow flags in sector 2. That's William who's around then. That's on the exit of turn 4. So McLaren finds himself around there, but gets going again. Currently 20th place. Chapalele and Polska then leading the way. KPI in 3rd, with Seb in 4th. Cohen, in fact, Sem's coming into the pits then. Obviously to put on a set of medium tyres so that we get him to the end of this race. Frederick here on the back of Thyman. This is going to be crucial for Thyman. He's finally got a little bit of clear track ahead of him. He'll now try and push. Torres now moves up to 10th place, obviously with Sem and Cohen coming into the pits. Let's see what happens here between these cars. Now you've got Prinens there and Elting, for example, making their way through. Has Prinens got the opportunity to get the move done there? You can see the name tag of Cohen as we make our way through. And, well, he's going to have a major opportunity here down towards turn 4. Does he have the closing speed? No, he doesn't. Cohen got a little bit of DRS then down towards turn 4 and was able to stay ahead. But at the moment, Cohen is on the medium tyres, And Prinens here is on the soft tyres. This is going to be crucial now for Prinens to try and get past the livid car and try and make up as many points as he possibly can. Making our way now in towards turn 12. Up the hill through turn 13, 14 and 15. Lap 8 of this race. There goes Chapelele into the pits. So Jordan retakes the lead of the Brazilian Grand Prix. Lots of cars into the pits now. We've got Chapelele and Simon, Ashbest, Venting, Baena also into the pits there. As you see, Lonnie moving up the order. Of course, he's yet to stop in this race. He's on the medium tyres. Prinens on the back of Cohen, but Cohen has some DRS as we make our way down the start-finish line now. Let's see, Chapelele was the first of those cars into the pits. There you can see a Toro Rosso of JL Racing, who's yet to pit in this race. Chapelele should rejoin. Well ahead, he does, well ahead in 6th place there. How about Sem, Cohen, who got going through. Prinens, there you can see the rear wing of Simon. As Simon rejoins, there you've got lots of cars coming into the pits as there was the 2 Alfa Romeos there as Ashbest backed off to let Casper through because he's on the soft tyres, so that's their thinking. Let Casper go for it first. Into the double right-hander then of turns 6 and 7. As you can see then Elting clipping the grass on his way through. For Casper here, he's got Elting ahead of him. He's on 5-lap-old soft tyres. Elting runs deep into turn 9 and Casper tries to take full advantage there, but not quite just yet. Chapelele, meanwhile, is ahead. JL Racing is a little bit of a sitting duck here with those 8-lap-old soft tyres as that is Cohen who finds his way through. Prinens also through. JL struggling on these tyres now. Now Thyman looks for a move now as he makes his way through. As KPI rejoins on a hard set of tyres. That's the wrong call, surely. As JL Racing falls down the order there on worn soft tyres. As you can see there, KPI rejoining on so hard tyres. That's the wrong call, surely. Everybody else is on mediums and softs. Meanwhile, then Chapelele and Polska there rejoin on the same bit of track as Jordan then makes the overcut work. We've got lots of cars, lots of battling to do then in the last 9 laps of this cup. And currently, Rui Torres is leading the way, but he's on 9-lap-old soft tyres. He is due to stop. He's yet to stop in this race. Venting now gets a crucial move on... Oh, there's a car around! And it is JL Racing. And that's one of the Alfa Romeos of Casper, who's been caught up in that. My goodness. Well, one of the VSR cars has taken huge damage to that front wing as he now tries to rejoin. Not quite sure what happened there. JL is waiting now for all the cars to go past. Disaster there for Casper. He finds himself now all the way down to 19th place. A disaster for Casper, who won the last race, but now finds himself in a little bit of a situation here. I'll have a look back through the stream and see exactly what happened there if I can find out. Rui Torres comes into the bit, so all the drivers behind him get a few positions up there. Meanwhile, we've got the racing point of Prinens there. Oh, do you know what? I think Casper could have run into the back of the Toro Rosso and sent them both around there. That's probably... It looked like that from that angle. Obviously, points of view are so crucial in this one. But sometimes what you see is not what you get. But that is a disaster for the VSR team. One car down, and Onyx is also into the pits then in 18th place. Comes in for a fresh set of soft tyres. Well, VRT then, first and second at the moment. And they've got Lonnie in 12th place. Ashbest now in 13th. Oh, that's Baena trying to move on the inside of Venting then. In towards turn 10 then, through 11. And then onwards now towards turn 12. You can see then Baena right on the back as we make our way now in towards turn 12. Sem, meanwhile, is on the back of KPI. Remember, KPI is on a set of hard tyres. He's actually an AI right here. As now he goes through straight away. Meanwhile, then Sem is having to hold off the car behind of Prinens then, who goes up the inside and takes over. 5th place. Prinens up the positions past Cohen. Now his next target will be KPI, but his first decision now is to try and hold back Sem, who's got a really good run through the centre S. Prinens goes defensive in towards turn 4 here, and he's able to stay ahead. KPI on the hard tyres. So it's a decision that boggled my mind for sure. Thyman looking for a move up the inside in towards the right-hander there of turn 6, but quickly saw and realised that that door was always closing. Cohen, meanwhile, on the back of Prinens, once again trying to make life difficult for the VSR driver. He's the highest running VSR car at the moment, is Prinens. So all the team will be backing him to try and get up the order. He's got KPI ahead of him. Oh, he's run very wide there. Keeps a hold of the car there. Just about on the exit of turn 11. Now through turn 12, 13. Now through 14. He'll have some DRS on KPI. And KPI here on the hard tyres as well. And you can see that Prinens is not closing. He's closing in. Both of them are on Sem. But nothing doing then in towards turn 1. Lonnie gets the move done on Boehner then. Into 9th place he goes. That will be a crucial move. And all things are said and done. Oh, that's a big loss of control there for Boehner as he made his way through turn 3 there. Just seemed to have lost the back end a little bit there. KPI and Sem now battling away. KPI has got past Sem once again. Now, Prinens has to be careful here as he makes his way through the double right-hander, 6 and 7. He's on the soft tyres, but he's on 10-lap old soft tyres. Lap 13 of this race in Brazil. If anyone needs to remind you, it's not over yet. 63 points is the gap between VSR and VRT. Well, at the moment, the top 2 positions are occupied by a VRT car. Prinens is occupying 5th place, with Lonnie and Thiaman 9th and 8th respectively. Onyx and Casper down in 17th and 19th. Ashbest in 13th. Remember, every point scoring position is a finishing position as long as you make the checker flag. Here comes Prinens then on the back of the livid car of Sem as we make our way towards turn 1. Will he look for a move down the inside? He's got to think about it at least. He tries it now down the inside. The Haas gives him room. He's now on the outside of turn 2. Will he have the inside of turn 3? Oh, a little bit of lag there. Might have just about saved any contact between the two of them. But Prinens still finds himself now in 5th place. Will he look for a move up towards turn 4? He will once again. The door's left open, but he can't quite take advantage of it. And he's really trying his best here. All that's going to do is invite Cohen, Frederick, Thiaman and Lonnie into the mix as well. Gabri is past Ash Best, who I think's made a mistake out there somewhere. Ash Best now in 13th place. Yeah, you can see right-hand end plate of that car is gone. VSR are in trouble here. And if they're not careful, they could find themselves down the order. 14 laps so far. Oh, Gabri spun around and Cohen's never avoiding that one. My goodness, there was nothing Cohen could have done about that. And he's now out of this race. So unfortunate then. It's actually Luke who is into the wall there. Apologies about the misidentification. But there was just nothing he could have done there. Absolutely nothing. Meanwhile, there's a train for P3. KPI leads it as they make their way now in through turn 3. You saw there that the Ferrari just looked like he lost it all on his own accord. And Luke just had nowhere to go. And unfortunately is out of this race. So one fewer livid car in this race. So unfortunate. Again, he just had nowhere to go. There was nothing he could have done to avoid that. But there you go, KPI still leading this train on the hard tyres. I'm just having a look back on the stream there. You can see, well, I can see at least, as Eltink has now retired in the pit lane. As yeah, it was a very bizarre loss of the back end for the Ferrari, but he did lose it. And unfortunately for Luke, there was just absolutely nothing he could do. Just wrong place at the wrong time, and you never want to say that. Well, Jordan leads the way then, lap 15, soon to be lap 16. KPI's in 3rd, with Sem in 4th, Prinens 5th, Cohen in 6th, Frederick in 7th, with Thiaman in 8th, Lonnie in 9th, and Boehner rounds out the top 10. Ventic is in 11th place, with Ashbest in 12th. He's just trying to learn, well, at least get that car to the end. 13th place for Gabri, Huitara in 14th, William in 15th, Onyx 16th, Casper 17th, and JL running in 18th place. 3 laps to go here in Brazil. And Prinens is right on the back of Sem once again. The highest running VSR car is behind 2 of the VRT cars. Penalty situation. We'll come to that bridge when we cross it. In terms of when they get to the checker flag, we'll all find out together. VSR Prinens then in 5th place. Really wants to try and get up the order as best as he possibly can. Cohen in 6th here on the medium tyres. Keeping Prinens close company. Frederick in 7th place. Thiaman in 8th. 9th place is Lonnie there with Boehner rounding out the top 10. Oh, that was Lonnie there getting a little bit onto the grass. going through turn 11. That's never really where you want to go. Well, making sure we stay on board at least with Prinens here, because he's got 1/10 of a second there between him and Seb. But let's have a look here at the racing point. Looks like he's turned down the engine, but he's not turned down this opportunity, at least. Up the inside in towards turn 1. Now around the outside at turn 2. He's got the inside for turn 3, and he's got the move done. Sem then falls to 5th place. Cohen now trying to get 6th place here, or at least 5th place from his teammate there, as we make our way now down towards turn 4. And I think the race point is just about held onto it there. Prinens gets a little bit onto the curb, a little bit wayward on the exit there, as there you can see the Haas lets Cohen through. So that's a team orders move there, as Frederick now in 7th place with Thyman in 8th. Oh, there's a Williams out of nowhere. Thyman now up the inside. Now he has to go around the outside there. A little bit sketchy between the two of them, but they've managed to keep it in the right direction. Thyman dives it down the inside in towards turn 10 there. Can he get this move stuck then? Between MNT and VRT, there's Lonnie on the inside. He's got to be so careful that he doesn't take out his teammate then. In towards turn 12. Thyman and Frederick still battling away. Frederick gets a little bit of oversteer on the exit of turn 12. He was on the curb there. And there you can see Frederick just still holding on just about then. Now you've got the Williams of Thyman around the outside then as we make our way towards turn 1. It's 3 wide on entry in towards turn 1. As we make our way through there, you see the Toro Rosso backed out of it completely. And that is Thyman and Lonnie past Frederick in towards turn 1. 3 wide on entry. And it was Frederick there who decided that just wasn't worth it. You've got now Lonnie having to defend from the Toro Rosso. He's now trying to attack his teammate now as they both run through in towards the double left-hander. They've got to be careful, the two of them. They can't afford to be battling like this all the time. As Frederick looked for a move up the inside, but I think even he knew that that move was not going to be on. Well, Polska here got the move right in the strategy at least. He got the overcut done and dusted. Chapelele will follow him through, I'm sure, to take a 1-2. They've only just got now the chance to go flat out all the way to the line, and what could be a crucial haul of points for VRT. It's going to be Jordan who comes across the line to take the win in Brazil, and Chapelele will follow suit then to round off the 1-2 between the two of them. KPI comes across the line in 3rd, and Prinens 1/10 behind finishes in 4th. Sem in 5th with Cohen in 6th. Simon in 7th place with Frederick in 8th. Lonnie in 9th and Ventic in 10th. Boehner in 11th. Ashbest in 12th. Rui Torres in 13th. Gabri 14th. But look at this. William is making his way through now to snatch that position away, although he was demoted through penalties. Gabri 13th. Ashbest 14th with Onyx now in 15th. William 16th. Casper in 17th. And JL standing in as the president of MNT there in 18th place. With 2 retirements, Eltink and Luke. But there really is your winner of this race then. Jordan Polska and Chapelele round out a 1-2 for VRT. They'll be mightily happy with that one. And we'll have to see how that does to the points. So, of course, 30 points for the winner then in Jordan Polska. Chapelele in 2nd. KPI managing to get 3rd place for R70. A fantastic result for them then, as Jordan Polska takes the win here in Brazil. Well, how crucial could this be with 2 VRT cars on top of the table? Prinens finishing in 4th as the highest VSR driver, as there's a little bit of a frame rate drop, but we won't mind that. VRT round off a 1-2. So then let's move on then to the official, unofficial results then for this race then. Polska, Jordan Polska takes the win with Chapelele in 2nd. KPI in 3rd with Prinens in 4th. Sem is in 5th place with Cohen in 6th. Thyman in 7th with Frederick in 8th. Lonnie in 9th and Ventic rounds out the top 10. Boehner in 11th. Rui Torres in 12th. Gabri 13th. Ashbest 14th. Onyx 15th. William 16th. Casper 17th. And JL in 18th. Retirements Eltink and Luke, which rounds off 19th and 20th place. But that will do it then for this one. And now becomes the the ever annoying task of me having to work out the points, which you'll quickly find out is pretty painful and pretty pointless. But I'll tell you where I am right now. 7th place, which is Thyman for VRT. So that is going to be 14 points there. In 8th place, we had Frederick for Mentalism. So that is going to be 13 points. In 9th place, let me have a look, is Lonnie. So that's VRT. So there you go. 9th place for VRT then. So that's them all scoring their points in the top 9. So that is good going for them. 10th place was Venting. So that's points for Livid. That's 10 points for Livid Racing. Oh, sorry, 11 points for Livid Racing. See, don't let me do the points. 11th place, R70. In fact, they lock out 11th, 12th and 13th. So that's 10, 9 and 8 points respectively. And then we have a VSR car in 14th place. Well, that is 7 points. Then we have, so 14th for VSR, 15th for VSR as well. That's going to be 6 points. Then we have William there for Mentalism in 16th place. That's going to be 5 points. We have Casper, the last VSR car, in 17th place. And then last the point score is 18th place JL, who I assume is for Mentalism. 3 points. So, let's get out the old trusty calculator and see what the points are looking like. So, a low scoring round for VSR this time around. They scored 37 points in that race. Now remember, 63 points is the difference right now between the two of them. So, by my calculations then, if VRT have got 101 points in this race, they've won it. Which is saying something, because you'll only score 99, but that's obviously with VSR's points added on. Let's have a look. 30 plus 26 plus 14 plus 9. And they scored 79 points. Well, well, well. That could be a huge thing. Well, we'll have to wait and see what it all adds up to. Mentalism 21 points in that race. Livid got 3 cars to the line. They scored 45 points. And R70 with a 3rd place there. That could be a huge difference in their championship standing. And they scored 50 points. So, final standings then. Let's have a look as I work this out. Of course, these will be unofficial, depending on any penalties applied after the race. So, VSR, their total points, 280. VRT, total points, 259. So, Mentalism then, 111 I believe that is. 90 plus 21, I think I could work that out. 111 for Mentalism. Livid Racing, they have 169 points. And R70, with a great showing at the end there, they scored 121. So, your official, unofficial results for the Cup then is that VSR win 280 points to VRT's 259. Livid Racing in 3rd with 169. R70 finishing in 4th after a fantastic race for them in the last race, 121 points. And Team Mentalism in 5th then with 111. So there you are then, there you have it. VSR win, but they made a really big mess of it at the end there, to be honest with you. Lots of cars finishing outside then. 21 points, the gap between the leaders at the end there. To put that in perspective, that's a podium. That's a 3rd place finish. So that was really, really close. I hope you've enjoyed tonight's stream, and hopefully you've enjoyed tonight's action as well. Let us know what you thought in the chat. Did your favourite team win? Did your favourite drivers do well as well? That's what we love to know. But that is the official, unofficial results, is that VSR have won the Cup on 280 points. VRT, 259 there in 2nd place. Livid Racing, 169, they finished in 3rd. R70 got off the bottom of the table, 4th place, 121, with Mentalism in 5th place on 111. Well, hopefully you have enjoyed tonight's action. And congratulations to all drivers, congratulations to VSR, commiserations to VRT. They put on a fantastic show here tonight, and hopefully we'll be back for more racing very, very shortly. Until next time, well, I thank you very much for watching. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel. Make sure you're following Vortex Racing Team as well, at VRT_racing. It was their invitational event, so thank you very much for inviting us all along for a great 2 weeks of racing. Make sure, if you want to, if you really want to, you can follow me on Twitter as well, at KS McGinley. It's there if you want it. If you can spell it, even better. But thank you very much for watching, and until next time, I've been Kieran McGinley. You've been watching. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you next time.